There, let's get the mic on. We have clear skies. I can't believe it. The forecast was clouds, 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 and all of a sudden, once again, things cleared up. The whole scope was packed up. No, sorry, not the whole scope was packed up. All the cables were put away. The scope was all covered up outside, and I popped my head out, and it looked nice and clear. I'm figuring it's got to stay. Checked a bunch of apps, checked some other weather. It said cloudy, but the clouds cleared up. So here we are. I'm Tom, I'm the Astro Canuck, and I'm here to bring some live photographs from space to your screens. And we're going to get right into it because I don't know how long these clouds are going to keep away. So what I do have is actually I have upgraded the ASI Air. It is a brand new software that has been released, I believe, yesterday. And so there may be some hiccups. We'll see what goes on. But usually they have been, ZWO has been really good with keeping up on the updates with any bugs. They do a lot of testing, so hopefully everything's going to go really well. While we were away, I do want to say thank you to the Savvy78, Cursed on Duty, and iPutsy for following me. And I appreciate that a lot. And it's just great to see more people interested in what I'm doing, and hopefully that we'll see more people kind of come around. Just based on whenever I'm going to have some clear skies, it's going to be, hopefully there's a lot more excitement to come, because October generally is going to be a little rainy and cloudy, so it's pretty unpredictable. Once we kind of start rolling into November, December, you get the colder nights. They're going to be lasting a lot longer, and when you have cooler air, it's the atmosphere is less turbulent, so you have clearer skies. The lower you kind of go in down towards the horizon, so there's not as much turbulence mucking up your photos. Now, from what I have read about the latest update, is that there is video on this now, on the ASI Air, and that's going to be pretty cool, because once you're able to do that, use video on this, then you can start doing more planetary work. So unfortunately, Mars has just gone behind the tree, and I was really hoping to kind of capture some more images of Mars tonight, but we got a bit of a new kind of area of the sky, so we'll take a look at some other targets, and depending how long the skies stay clear, how long we go for, maybe even start catching some bits of the Orion constellation. So we'll see how that goes. But you're there looking at the ASI Air, and this is the star Capella. Now this was my focus, the star that I focused on. So just everything's all aligned. Let's have a look at the sky. This is the shot from the guide cam. So there's a lot of stars that we're seeing in this section, and that's great, because the more stars that are showing up in the guide cam, just the clearer the skies are going to be. Now it looks like there might be some clouds rolling through, but I am happy to have clear enough skies to be out there. So let's have a look. I do want to tour around what's on the ASI Air right now, but let's pick our target. So this is once again in Stellarium. Now, in this image of Stellarium, it does show that Orion is kind of coming up above the house. That may be true for if you are standing at about 9 feet tall. The scope isn't that tall, so probably going to see Orion in a little bit. But let's, where are we? I'm looking at Capella right now, so let's get a target goal. Let's go for the heart, center of the Heart Nebula, and we'll get started on that. So once again, controlling everything with this the ASI Air. It's a Raspberry Pi controlled computer, and it just allows me to control my telescope, all my settings, the guide camera, the guiding, and the dedicated astronomy camera that's attached to it. And yeah, they've added, from what I see, they've added a few more catalogs, which is amazing. So we're able to, instead of looking for targets by their right ascension and declination, it looks like I got a larger catalog to choose from. But we're going to go to IC 1805. That is the Heart Nebula, or Melotte 15. And we'll set the scope. So we're just waiting on the scope to settle in on the target there. And it does seem right now that actually plate solving is taking a little longer than usual. I do wonder if could it be the clouds have all of a sudden rolled in. When I was focusing on Capella, I had some clouds roll through that area. Now it says detected a whole bunch of stars, so I wonder why. It does look like there might be some clouds rolling through the sky. So let's do a let's come back to the ASI Air. And now it looks like we're good there. It's where we want to be. Now with plate solved, and we should be on target. Yeah, look at the guide cam, and it looks like we got a bit of cloud rolling through. So let's we'll kind of hang tight on that, and let's just I'm going to take a look and see what is available in the ASI Air. See what's in the Now, I did say that there was video. Now that may almost be, I wonder if it might just be in the Pro version, because just the technology on that isn't where it should be. but we're still cooling the camera down. That's going down to, the target is going to be minus 10 degrees, and just cooling it in 5-degree steps every, about maybe every 5-10 minutes. Now, what I don't want to see are clouds, obviously. Let's have a look. Let's go back to the scope, and it does look like some clouds have rolled in, as you can even see on the guide cam here. Now this happens so often when the everything looks nice and clear. Some of the apps were saying that the weather was going to be good for a couple hours, so we'll see if these clouds kind of it's just a bit of a passing patch of clouds over here. Maybe the skies will want to clear up a bit. Now, so what we are looking at, this is the telescope that we are imaging. This is probably going to be, I'm going to call my primary scope, just because the capabilities of it. It's a Altair Astro Ritchie-Chrétien design telescope. It's 8 inches in diameter, and it has a focal length, a native focal length of about 1600 millimeters, and with a focal reducer that I have on it right now, that brings me down to, it's a 0.6 focal reduction on there, so it brings you down to about 979 millimeters. So I have in terms of deep field, it's still a little wide, which is nice. I think it's almost a perfect kind of length that we have on here. Able to get some specific targets nicely in the sensor, which is on the ASI 533 MC Pro, and that is a square sensor. It's a 1-inch diagonal, and as long as these clouds get out of the way, we can have a look at things here. But let's now, while we're waiting for the clouds to get out of here, I'm going to take a look and see what other options we have for the catalog. Because recently the planets were new. The Messier, the NGC, IC, the Sharpless catalog. I should look through that. So it's canceled. So we've got tonight's. All right, so it does. We're listing some of the Sharpless catalog here. Now, some of these are in kind of the same region of what the NGC or the Messier catalog is, and it's just some more specific regions that we'd be looking at there. Now, I am not too familiar with these exact targets in this catalog, so some of them may, like I said, it might be just other parts of different nebulas, and yeah, like this Sharpless 2103, which looks like it's part of the Veil Nebula, so which is a supernova remnant. It appears to be part of that area, so do some more research on that. And it also looks like it gives a degree size, so it's so you get a good idea of what kind of field of view things are going to be taken up in your sensor. This one, sharpless 190, that is the target that we're on right now. Also Malot 15, IC 1308. That's the center portion of the Heart Nebula. So it's really cool that they've added some new catalogs in here, because that just opens up more of the sky. And so this is the tadpoles. We did shoot that the other night. Right. Now, jumping around to home life, the studio light is encased in a spider has made its home up in there. And A, I don't want to bug it, and B, I don't want to be dealing with spiders. And I was saying the other day that, oh boy, I hope this light doesn't go out. And it seems to be acting up. So Savvy, how's it going, man? Good to see you on here. Yeah, I was hoping to be shooting some images of space, and however, looking at the outdoor camera at the moment, there are some clouds hanging over, and they are not in a hurry to get out of the way. So what I'm kind of doing right now is looking through the new features that have been put in the upgrade on the ASI Air, my little Raspberry Pi controlled computer, and just kind of hoping to wait out these clouds, because it said the forecast is saying I have all right skies. So now another thing with the lights flickering off and on like this, tomorrow I was actually going to switch things up a bit and actually play a game on here, because the clouds are rolling in for the remainder of the week, and this was a bit of a surprise for me. Yeah, and it was I was going to plan on playing Phasmophobia. It's newly released on Steam, and it's getting some really good reviews, so I just wanted to give that a shot and play it on here, and also for the sake of, in case it turns into some kind of Jumanji incident, you can see what has happened to me. So yeah, that's going to be the plan for either tomorrow or Friday. Probably Friday, because I'm going to I'll tweak some things on the stream here, just so I'm in more of a video game kind of mode, as I've kind of have this tailored to this is more tailored to my astrophotography, and yeah, we'll see how that kind of goes there. But jumping back over to the ASI Air, there's like I said, there's some nebulas that are also coming up that I haven't captured before. The Jellyfish Nebula, that's a really nice, actually an oxygen 3 target. That's most targets that we're looking at in the sky, they're heavy in the hydrogen alpha wavelength. So it's nice to have a target that's going to be focusing on the green end of the spectrum for the filter. And also because Orion is coming up pretty soon, that'll be readily available in the night sky at about maybe about 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks. It'll be in the sky early enough in the evening, and it kind of stays in that area of the sky for most of the night for me, which is really good. And there's a lot of targets that progressively become more available throughout the whole constellation, because it is such a large area. and part of the one that we're looking at right here, IC 405, the Flaming Star Nebula, which I have captured in the past, and I think that's another target that's going to have to be shot again at this focal length, because there's some really amazing details in there that's lit up by the star in that section. So being able to zoom in on that at this focal length with this filter is going to be something really cool to see. Yeah, that looks like, that's the Wizard Nebula. But yeah, there's definitely some new targets to me that would be coming available. And even like I said, with this in the catalog, the new options in here are just being able to pick out the targets a little quicker, because the Sharpless catalog wasn't available, and I would have to enter in the right ascension and declination manually by basically picking a star in the area that I wanted to have centered that would show the whole nebula or the galaxy in the shot. So I would have to manually punch that in and have the telescope slew to that area of the sky. Now let's have a quick look at the sky, and there's still lots of clouds in the area. But what I will do is, do I want to fire up this light? Well, things happen. This is life. Kind of hoping really hoping these clouds get out of the way, because it was crystal clear as I was setting up. It was like everything looked very promising, and yeah, this is not a Halloween effect for the light. This is the spider that's made a home up in there getting back at me. I don't bug them. I don't. I don't mean to. They don't cause me any grief. I don't cause them any grief. Just also stay out of my beard. So, yeah, I do hope that the clouds are gonna get clearer skies. I know it is. I get the reports, and it does say that maybe there might be rain, but instances like this, things clear up. So, I am in the east of England, so we'll see kind of how the clouds are gonna react. It does look like a lot of stuff is coming in from the north. Usually I'm seeing the weather coming from the west, so it could be that this direction is causing just a little more instability in the skies. But yeah, usually like when I am planning on having a rainy day astronomy, we'll have some images to work on, and I'll kind of get other things set up. But as this kind of goes, it's well, things just aren't cooperating with the weather. But that's kind of that's the way how it goes sometimes. The weather isn't always going to be your friend, and I am at the mercy of the clouds. Now let's see, I do have, let me check on the cloud coverage. See if there might be some more clear skies coming up. Now, also at the same time, it did say that there was going to be clouds all night. But I always want to remain optimistic. Now, kind of looking at the map, it looks like the clouds are going to maybe peter out just a little bit, maybe just enough. Yeah, it looks, it's sparse. It's kind of clearing up there a little bit. So we'll hold out, and hopefully the light holds out as well. Else, this is also going to be a astrophotography / DIY home repair live stream. You can see me tackle a light bulb encased in spider webs, which would be hilarious for some people. Now, I've been a huge arachnophobe. However, I've just come to accept spiders and deal with them and just let them, like I said, they don't bug me, I won't bug them. So this is an unfortunate case where I'm going to have to ruin somebody's home so I can switch my light bulb. I'll feel bad about it for a little bit. I'll put them outside, there's more bugs out there. Now I can whinge and moan about these clouds all I want. Oh yeah, Stellarium's view is fantastic. The weather's always great in Stellarium. Now this is the view from my back garden, and I do have a, like I said before, a very limited view to the north and the east, and everywhere else is covered by trees. So that's where the scope will sit. So I do, like I said, all that is off limits to my eyes. And to the south, where a lot of interesting targets are that I've wanted to image, they're blocked by the large tree and the neighbor's house, neither of which I can knock down. Yeah, also, I'm really, for the sake of my own sanity, I am glad that I've started this stream doing astrophotography tonight while this bulb is acting up, because it would really start to freak me out if this happened tomorrow or Friday night playing Phasmophobia. So that's a bit of a relief. And anyway, I think I actually wasn't going to have this light on. I was going to have some bit of a little mood lighting for the game. So well, you can see me freak out over that. I think it's fun just to try out maybe some different avenues with this. Primarily, the whole stream is astrophotography, but at the same time, Like, you know, it's not always going to be clear skies, but I do want to be able to just do different things on here. And also, if I can actually get some reliable lighting, then this won't even be a factor. So, wow, this is... Well, this is not gonna let it bother me. Like I said, these things happen. Yeah, the clouds are still, they are just hanging out there. They are. They don't want to move. So what I usually do is, when I am doing the photography, is I'll take a 5-minute or a 10-minute exposure, and from that you get the image that will appear on the ASI Air, which is, well, while we're here, I'll pull up some older images just so we got the, you know, something to see. That's it. I gotta keep a positive outlook on this, because otherwise it would just drive you mad. But yeah, no, when the skies are clear, it's so much fun, and that's getting even brighter now. If this thing blows up, at least I have it on camera and it's documented. So typically when you are doing a full astrophotography image that you are taking, many exposures, and you're building up your image, so it's going to be like 5 minute exposures, and you're going to stack them all up in an image so that you get your final image, which kind of looks like what I have in the background. And that's see, I have a so this background image that we have, that is the Gamma Cygni Nebula, and this was about 2.5 hours worth of photos. And that's basically because you are building up your image, because there is a lot of noise inherently that comes with the camera, no matter what camera you're using. There's always going to be some kind of noise. So when you build it up and you have more signal coming through, it's eventually you get the signal that you're shooting is going to outweigh all the noise from the camera. So you're left with, once you've done your processing, you're left with this kind of image that we see in the background here. Now I think I might have a single shot of the nebula here. Now that's this is the file system for the ASI Air, and kind of midway through things did change, and so the way all the files kind of are sorted now. They've created 2 separate folders. So until I kind of clear this out to make way for new photographs, it's going to be a bit of a mess. And the number for the Gamma Cygni is, let me find that there. Gamma Cygni is IC1318. I really should have that memorized because I've shot it so many times. I do, actually here, there's Saturn. So what we're looking at right now, this is a single shot of that background image that we just showed, that I was just showing you. And so as you see, the detail isn't as pronounced. Now this is a nice area to actually shoot because it does yield a pretty good shot in the end. But yeah, you can just see that there is some graininess that kind of comes from the camera, and there's not as much detail within the nebula, and that kind of comes with stacking the image up higher and higher. The more time you can kind of put in there, the better your image is going to be. Eventually you're going to have some diminishing returns, whereas if I did this as a 2.5 hour image, I would probably have to do another 2 hours to get a significant boost in the quality of the image there. This was a 10-minute shot. It's just a little better a little more indicative of what you're seeing straight out of the camera. Now the benefit of this camera is that it does do cooling, so there's not as much thermal noise that kind of comes through as you would with just a DSLR, which is at the mercy of your outdoor temperature. And that's it's gonna, like a DSLR sensor is going to heat up to maybe 30 degrees Celsius, and it just is a lot of like green, red, and blue noise that kind of comes in, just interferes with the whole image there. So there are a lot of extra images that you have to take, which are calibration frames, and if you do if you're shooting flat frames, is where you're holding a bright light and a flat white frame over the sensor, and that's going to kind of get rid of any dust and any hair or anything that might kind of be on the sensor or on the scope. And then there are the dark frames where you take the exact same exposure length as you would, but with the lens cap on, and that'll tell the program what is the thermal noise of the sensor. So when you're using a cooled camera, it gets rid of a lot of that thermal noise. So that's image like this is kind of typically what I try to show. There is some just little changes in the histogram slider, which doesn't alter the image at all. It just kind of adjusts the contrast of what's already there, and that's just basically what I'm trying to show when we have clear skies. Let's see if that was, no, that was Mars, but that's not the image I thought I had maybe taken there. So what I was aiming for was this area here of the Heart Nebula, and that is Malot 15. And I have taken these shots and kind of stacked them up and made a photo, and you can see it on my Instagram page. And I want to process that again because I think there's already some new little tricks and processing that I've picked up since then, and it's I think it's worth another go at it because there's probably more detail I can pull out of there and better contrast that I can have displayed throughout the nebula. Because I think I like the image that I came out with in the end, but I don't think it's quite there. And it's just one of those. It was a 15-hour image that I got worth of exposures. So I think from what I have and what I can get is something totally different. Now it doesn't look like these clouds are going anywhere. However, I'm going to stick around for a little while longer because I don't like to shut up about astronomy. If I could, I would talk about it all day, every day, and that would be my job. However, this is just my passion right now. But I think even just kind of look, I do like looking at the past images, but there is just something about taking these images and seeing it come out of the camera at that instance live. So that's yeah, I mean that is my connection with the cosmos that I have, and that's to me, these single 10-minute exposures are more meaningful to me than sitting there working on the computer for a couple hours, maybe even 4 or 5 hours, trying to get the detail pulled out of these about the images. So yeah, it's yeah, this is what I like to do. All right, got to get going, Savvy. Good, thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate that. And yeah, it'll either be streaming tomorrow or Friday. I'll put up an alert on probably my Facebook page, and that is the Astro Canuck. That's probably that and Twitter. I'll put those up there, and we'll find out what's going to go on. And I think it's from how my kitchen is my studio. How my studio is acting up. We're going to see some more Halloween hijinks. I don't know. We'll see how that light bulb holds up. I see you on Facebook. Hi, Mom. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you guys tuning in over on Facebook there. I am broadcasting this to Facebook and YouTube as well. Basically, you can find me on all those channels as the Astro Canuck, and I will be doing some more videos on YouTube to have, like I said, just kind of sharing what I've done, how my setup works for the telescope, and just what I've overcome from any problems that have arisen during the whole time I've been doing astrophotography. There have been some good nights, there have been some bad nights, there have been some really bad nights, and there have been some fantastic nights. And this is a really good example of a great night that's turning out very cloudy. Now, it's not bad because we're still looking at some photos, still looking at portions of the night sky. Like I said, it'd be a little more special, I guess, if you were able to see these images kind of coming in live. But these this is the way it goes with astrophotography. Sometimes you can set up and be as prepared as possible, but it just doesn't turn out. Now, what we were looking at, that was the center earlier of the Heart Nebula, and this is the whole Heart Nebula complex. And this was taken with a different telescope, a smaller refractor telescope, which is made up of lenses rather than this telescope, which is mirrors. And yeah, this is of the Heart Nebula. There are a few different areas that are that people kind of like to image. There's obviously like the whole complex. There's the Fish Head Nebula up at the top. Like I said, the Malot 15 in the center. And just to the south, you're going to have the Soul Nebula. So there's of this section of the sky is the Heart and Soul. And it's dependent. You can go, like I said, people can go really wide on these two targets. You can zoom in. There's lots to see in this section of the night sky, which is really cool. And it kind of comes with almost any nebula that you're trying to shoot. That there's always going to be, like, there is still the whole wide view of everything, but then there's so many little details that you can kind of zoom in on and pick out. Now, if you'll excuse me for a moment, I am going to see if it's raining. Well, it was raining. Nothing hard, just some drizzle, but enough that enough that I have to call this one a night, at least for the astrophotography side of things. Now, this happens, and I'm not too happy that it actually started raining while the scope was basically pointing straight up. So I'm probably gonna have to do a little bit of maintenance on the scope, and yeah, that's possibly going to be. It's just an hour that I kind of did tonight, but you know, that was the it was a surprise clear night. It was a surprise rainstorm. Well, not a rainstorm, just some surprise drizzle, and that's it's not bad for the. Not too bad on the scope there, because I can just have that wiped off and that'll be fine in the morning. Let it dry out. So yeah, like I said, these things kind of happen. So the idea to supplement things on here, I guess also in the spirit of Halloween, I will be playing the game Phasmophobia. The whole point of that one is that you are ghost hunters in houses, buildings, schools. I've seen a little bit of the game played on some other streams, and really I just kind of want to get in on the action because it looks creepy, it looks fun, it looks hilarious at times, and I think it'll just be a fun little bit of an addition to just kind of what I do on here. Like video games isn't going to be the focus on the whole stream, but it's just going to be a little bit of side fun on there. So I will. Yeah, I'm probably gonna I'm gonna call it night because I'm just gonna properly pack up the scope. And as you can see, it is 1:30 in the morning. So yeah, this happens. Not greatly fussed about it. Yeah. I'm bummed that it started raining on the scope. It's only happened one other time, and I think it's just a little more difficult with this scope because all the mirrors are at the back of or right down the end of the tube. There's nothing blocking on the front, which in a way that's good for there's less elements that the light has to pass through, which is great. Now it's just that I'm gonna have to dry things out in the morning, and hopefully the weather is going to be favorable enough. It looks like on paper it looks like it's going to be all right weather to kind of dry things out in the morning, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. So I thank you guys for tuning in, as short notice as this was and as abbreviated as this as the stream has been. I hope a little bit of knowledge has kind of been passed around. Don't worry too much about the scope. I'm not fussed about things. It'll be all right in the morning after a good night's sleep. So I thank you guys for tuning in. I will do some new stuff on, I'm gonna say Friday, because I'm gonna take tomorrow to actually properly tailor the rest of the stream to more of a video game kind of style, and just have a nice bit of separation between astrophotography and fun. No, that's bad, because astrophotography is really fun. Between astrophotography and video games, and that's the separation there. So yeah, not doing anything new. I'm just not here to change the world. I'm here to share the universe. So I thank you guys once again for tuning in, and we'll see you very soon. Have a good evening, have a good morning, Have a good night. Take care.